Canadian geese. There are at least 7 million of them living among us in Canada. 400,000 right here in southern Ontario. They're known to damage agricultural fields, ruin your perfectly manicured lawn. They've likely chased you while on a leisurely walk. And in most serious cases, they've attacked people, leaving them with serious injuries.
Just last week, an OPP officer on a motorcycle collided with a goose while driving on Highway 11. He suffered serious leg injuries and may never walk again. In Ottawa, a woman was attacked while riding her bike. She suffered a concussion and fractured cheekbone. She was hospitalized for 5 days. Sure, they're Canadian, but that doesn't mean we should be proud of them.
Joining us in studio is Bill Dowd, president of Skedaddle Wildlife, Humane Wildlife Control. Bill, why are we bombarded with these birds all year round? Aren't they migratory?
They are migratory, but with the warmer weathers we're experiencing, except for last year, they're tending to spend more and more time here in Canada on the shores of Lake Ontario.
Bill, what type of habitat modification can be used in order to control where the geese go so that they won't be affecting the traffic on Highway 11, for example?
Well, there's a number of things that municipalities or homeowners can do, such as not cutting their lawns as frequently, leaving your grass.
Why not cut? What's that have to do with anything?
Well, the shorter grass is great for geese for eating, especially the goslings. They like to eat right from the root, so a longer grass makes it more difficult and not as much protein for the geese. So that's one habitat modification. Others will be putting up barriers, whether it be fencing or some type of obstruction to stop the geese's sight lines, to prevent predators from seeing them so that they feel more threatened is another habitat modification homeowners or municipalities can look into doing.
Who preys on geese? Which species?
Well, in an urban center, definitely raccoons and skunks. Rats have been known to eat the geese eggs. So as these geese continue to flourish in our cities, the raccoon population, skunk population, and rat population also continue to increase.
Bill, I know around here there's been talk, and there is, in fact, natives people are allowed to hunt deer. There is a deer cull. It usually goes on every year because of the number of deer that are showing up on the roads, and people are crashing into them, and it's caused a real problem. Are we reaching that same level with the geese population?
We may be getting there. Of course, Canada geese are protected under the Migratory Bird Act, so it is illegal to harass or harm them without special permits. But
what would the fine be?
There's a permit?
There's fines and permits. Yeah, fines can range anywhere from 5 to 10 to 20,000, in my understanding.
Wow.
But what constitutes harassing a goose?
Well, especially during nesting season. So
right.
to harass the mother when she's lying on the eggs, or scaring her with sounds or sights can constitute harassment, which would lead to these fines.
So if I shank my golf ball, which I am known to do, and it goes into a gaggle of geese, could the ministry come after me and say, hey, you're harassing these? Because I know they like people, because you always see them on your walks in parks or at golf courses. It's not like they're afraid of human beings. So they're part of the environment. And, you know, I mean, a golf ball goes this way, or I go to search for my golf ball and I happen to come upon a nest. I'm in some kind of trouble in more ways than one, aren't I?
Well, I think that is inadvertently harassing them. But they're attracted to two main things. One is our landscape lawns and water. Two sources that are in our cities, and we're both competing for those enjoyments, whether it's water with us going down to the lake or on a manicured lawn. So it's two species conflicting and coming into contact with each other because they're fighting for that water space.
So, Bill, with regards to these recent attacks with the OPP officer and the woman that was on her bike, is this a rarity, or is this what's starting to happen?
Well, as the population of Canada geese continues to grow, we're going to see more and more of these conflicts. People should be aware that these animals are out there and can be very aggressive with any wildlife, whether it's raccoon, squirrel, skunk, Canada geese. If there's young involved and you're separating those parents from the young, they're going to be aggressive and protect their young, just like we would. So people should be aware that Canada geese can be an aggressive animal.
Bill, 7 million of them in Canada, 400,000 right here in southern Ontario. I don't know how you count them. Why are they a protected species? I don't mean to sound, mean, but why? There's so many of them. Why are they protected? They're not in danger of becoming extinct.
No, it goes way back to the 1900s when the Migratory Bird Act between Canada and the U.S. became a law between two countries that that was back when the Canada goose population was quite low. So since probably the 1970s onwards, the population continues to grow and grow, and we're providing them with this perfect landscape, water, where they can live and thrive. So until we learn to adapt and do that habitat modification, decreasing the capabilities of them continuing to mate and grow, the problem's going to continue.
Okay, Bill, so when you call Skedaddle, if you're called in to take care of a geese issue, they've laid an egg or they're taking over an area, what's your plan of action? Is it that alternate migratory path?
Right, we'll get, first we need to get proper permits from Canadian Wildlife Services to allow us to go in and harass the geese. Typically starting a program in February is usually best before they start mating. You want to get to them before they start building their nests and laying their eggs. And then after that, when they go through a time such as right now where they're molting, where they cannot fly. So once they've molted, it's kind of hard to get rid of them because every time you go near them, they won't fly, but they'll just run into the water and run right back on.
Why won't they fly?
They get rid of a certain layer of their feathers and then grow new feathers. So during that is about from now until first week of August, they're in that non-flying stage. So that's when you want to be putting up these barriers so they can't walk onto the land. Putting in tall grass or shrubs so they can't see predators, that type of thing.
Is this the time when they seem to be more aggressive, when they can't get away by flying?
Obviously, yes. You
yeah.
know, if you're on a bike or walking down a path and see a mother goose sitting on a nest or has her goslings beside her, be cautious. You know, walk away calmly. Don't threaten or scare her.
Good advice. Bill Dowd is the president of Skedaddle Wildlife, Humane Wildlife Control. Bill, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your expertise today.
Great. Thanks for having me.